It's another beautiful Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Harmonious Family right here on DGTV. My good name is Alice Wanjera Mwangi, and with me in the studio is Bishop James Gitonga, who is a life counselor, a coach. He shall be introducing himself in a few, of course, to help us get some of this wisdom that we can use to avert some of the crisis in our families, in our friendship, or even in our workplace. So if you have any question for Bishop, please send them in, and I'll be so happy to sample some of them as we continue with the show. Thank you so much, Bishop, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me this day.
All right. So first, maybe you can introduce yourself for those who doesn't know you.
My name is James Gitonga. I'm a minister, and an ordained minister. And apart from ministry, I'm also a family therapist or a family psychologist, where I've spent a number of years dealing with family matters. And I'm sure as you join us today, we're going to look at one or two things that we can be able to just to empower ourselves on family issues.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of family ministry. This is counseling, dealing with the family matters.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before we get into relationships and everything, let us take ourselves back before we get into relationships. Like, what are the single years meant for?
In life, life is full of seasons.
Yeah.
What some of us don't realize, that life is it's seasons. Seasons that come and go. And as you mature and as you grow to adulthood, there are a number of seasons someone goes through. We have the child seasons, whereby those years are spent someone acquiring the basic skills of education, skills that shapes your destiny. And as you mature, there are seasons for college, where you go now to actualize past purpose and dreams and inspirations, that you're able to get the right skills that are able to shape your future endeavors and the desires of the field that you may wish to spend your years actualizing. So those are seasons. But still, there's not the time someone comes to relationship. But before then there are that period that you are alone. That's the season that we believe someone is supposed to have that time to empower himself.
Yeah.
The single seasons there are seasons where that you take time to mature, physically, mentally, and spiritually. These seasons are very important, because they shape the next phase of your life. Those seasons, so whatever happens there is supposed to be self-care, self-development, self-awareness, knowing who am I, what's my purpose, what are my desires, where do I see myself in the next few years. So that is the time to spend shaping and creating what we call foundations that you may require in the next phase of your life. So it depends with persons. Some choose different foundation to build on. But what they don't realize, that those foundations you built in your single years determines the future on matters of relationship. Yes.
So I am curious to know, like, are you supposed, first of all, to find your purpose, or you can get into relationship and also, start, finding out who you are by the help of your partner or something? Or must you really, first of all, get to understand what is your purpose or your calling?
It depends. Where am I seeing the word? Or what fast maturity that takes place, and also we call slow maturity. There are people who mature very fast, and before long, even at their teen stage, they actually know what they desire, what they would like to become. There are people who are little maturers, even in purpose, that even in their 30s, they are yet to discover themselves. So it's depending on the persons. But what we are saying, that it's very important. It doesn't matter what kind of a person you are, to be able to take that time to be able to develop yourself One of the biggest mistakes most of us have done is to believe that I can discover myself or know myself in a relationship.
Yeah.
That is the biggest mistake most of us do. Well, I'm not disputing that there are those who get to relationship and with a sound relationship and with the help of the partner, they are also helped to discover themselves.
Yeah.
So what we'll be asking, what kind of relationship are you getting to? Because the relationship that will help you actualize your destiny. There are those relationships that won't be of any use to self-development or to discover your purpose. So relationships are different.
Yeah.
So it depends with what kind of relationship that will help you. For those who are little maturers, to be able to discover themselves in that relationship.
Yeah. So what are some of the 5 questions maybe that one should ask themselves before they get to date someone?
That's a very nice question, and I believe it's a very important question.
Yeah.
Most of us, let me use this word, we jump into relationships
Yeah.
without first of all asking myself, why am I getting into this relationship? I tell people, relationship is like a business concept.
Yeah.
You know, before you begin a business, you actually take time to what we call feasibility study. You study the environment you want to venture into and to understand the many aspects that you are going to come and play into your business venture. So those aspects, you're able to know them and be able to see what I'm able to do, what I'm not able to do, what will require help, what will require for me to put in place to be able to actualize the dream. So it's the same concept, even in relationship.
Yeah.
We just jump, but you must ask yourself, this relationship I want to venture into, what benefits is it going to bring to me? What kind of relationship? So the question number 1 to understand, to ask yourself is that, is it the right relationship for me? Is it the right time? Is it the right relationship for me? Is it the right time for me to get in that relationship? Because sometimes you can get to a relationship and you have no time to invest in it.
Yeah.
You can get into a relationship and it wasn't the right relationship. The other question is to ask myself, am I compatibility? The issue that, as in the business, do I feel myself in this business? Does this business flow naturally to me? Do I struggle with the concept?
Yeah.
So in the relationship, am I struggling to make this relationship function? Am I struggling to make these matters that play in this relationship come to real? If it is flowing, then you might ask me, maybe I'm there. But if there's a lot of energy that someone has to put to make it function, then those are some of the things you need to ask yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that it's very important to ask those kind of questions. What is the purpose?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? Just as you ask yourself, why do I get to business? Is it because of money? Is it because I have something to offer into the society? Is it because of prestige? All those questions you ask yourself.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in a relationship. You must ask yourself, what is the purpose of this relationship? Is it for fun? Is it for marriage? Is it for acquaintance, just to be seen with certain kind of persons?
Yeah.
Is it to pass time? What's the purpose? Because where there is purpose, a lot will be required of you to invest. So most of us, we don't ask ourselves the purpose of the relationship. It's so important to ask that question.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this relationship?
Yeah. So you have talked about the compatibility aspect
Yes.
of it. So I was thinking there's compatibility, there's spirituality, and also there is What is the other thing? Yeah. So what is the most important thing that you should look up for? Is it the spirituality level or the physical one?
No, let me be able to demystify that issue of what is most important. Everything is important.
Yeah.
Every question that you ask is so important. Most of us get to relationship ignoring some other small matters. Let me tell you something. In a building, when it's being constructed,
Yeah.
every rule of engineering aspects must be obeyed. You get the point?
Yeah.
Every basic requirements must be observed. Why? Because as you keep building, if you deny the wisdom of a small aspect along the way, that small aspect becomes a huge cause of disaster.
Yeah.
Because it's continue building and building. Well, a lot has been put in that project. It's the same thing in a relationship. There's no big or small, or there's no aspect of questions that are not important. Every question, everything is so important. Why some of us are struggling with some of the relationship we are in is because there are those issues or those questions that we thought were not important.
Yeah.
But today, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years down the line, they have become the main thorn in the flesh. So what I would ask some of us that are planning to get to any relationship, or you're already in a relationship, and you have questions to ask, it's so important to sit down and analyze those questions. Some questions are able to be amended because all they require is information and understanding and knowledge to be able to work through them. And then you're able to come out of the mess. So when people are getting to any kind of relationship, it's so important that they ask basic questions, and there's no single question that is not important. Let me discuss about faith matters. A few years ago, I was privileged to be a pastor in charge of marriage and family. And I spent a few years doing premarital counseling. And all that season, I found young people came for them to be able to be taken through premarital counseling so that they can be able to get to marriage. The issue of faith, which was to, but as we went through the stages, it became an issue. Why? Because, for instance, matters of faith is very important. If all of us confess to be Christian, then before long, you'll be asking yourself, on Sunday, where to go to worship? That will become issue. The issue of Christian rights is an issue. What are these rights? The issue of Holy Communion, the issues of matters that requires baptism, matters that requires issues of issues that require catechism in those churches where it is a key issues. All those things will play a key role. So it's very important that even matters of faith to be discussed and agreed and a common ground achieved.
Yeah.
Issues of doctrine is a key issue, especially in this era we are in. Most of us take it for granted. But doctrine issues, because they shape how we think, how we perceive Christianity, and how the marriage will be shaped. The values in that family will be determined by the matters of faith. So you can't ignore. Issue of schools, where our kids go to school, it will be a critical role. Because I've seen families whereby different religions, some that worship on Saturday, others worship on Sundays, becoming an issue, which is their Sunday matter. I've seen issues whereby they are choosing schools. Some are Protestant schools, some are public schools, some are different Christian orientation in terms of faith. So when it comes out, where do our kids go to school becomes an issue. So nothing should be taken for chance when it comes to relationship. It's very important, those small things, to be, even if you don't find the final answers. It's so important that you are able to find a common ground, so that you can have a stability and a foundation to build. Because as you move on, some other things become clear and they're able to be addressed. But the foundation and commonality is so important to have a flat where now you can now say that now we have a basis to agree. We may not be 100%, but there's a basis to agree, then you can now start building on that. So it's very important.
Yeah, so someone will be asking maybe, is it okay if I get into a relationship with someone who's a non-Christian if I am a Christian, a non-believer? Is it okay?
That is a common question, and I keep encountering that common questions. And you see, it looks okay in the naked eye. It looks okay in the relationship matters and the fun moment. When the fun moment is gone, critical issues arises. And for us who are Christian, there are matters of faith we believe in. And allow me to mention one or two. For instance, what does the Bible tell us about our salvation? We believe that Christ is the person, is the God to us, who gave his life for our salvation. You can't remove Christ, death and Calvary and the blood from us. When that one is taken away, we have no faith. We have no foundation. We are called Christ because of the death of Christ. And that's what happened. That is what now defines who we are Christian. That's why we are called Christ-like. So religions that don't believe in that, and you interact in terms of relationship, that's a bomb in the making. It's a big issue in the making. So it's very important to be able to understand that. Number two, even the scripture tells us that we cannot be yoked by non-believers. We cannot journey together. You know, I grew up in the countryside where I used to visit my parents and my godparents, and where part of my parents, my paternal side, my godfather had the cows. You know, the cows, they would put on a yoke and pull a cart. You used to go to the farm, take coffee to the factory, and sometimes go and collect maize. And every time they put two bulls, and one was shorter than the other, or one was younger than the other, or the strength was an issue. That safari would have a problem, because one will be pulling than the other. They would be fighting, there would be no coordination, and in some incident even the cart fell. You see, because they were not in tune. But the moment where we would find that one is the main two bulls were together, they know how to pull together, they know how to work together, they know how to cut corners. So that day, the smoothness of transportation was very successful. So in the same thing, when you differ in some of those issues that we take for granted, like the matters of faith, they are so important. I have couples that I have counseled who got to marriage because of different worship Sundays, worship days. And it became a big issue because one party will be worshiping on Saturday, the other family will be worshiping on Sunday. So when it comes on weekend, planning their family events, planning for family, event, it is a big issue. They can't attend weddings. They can't attend family functions. Together, their schools issues. So see, in the beginning it was simple. But now, they're in a marriage. It's a big thorn. It's a big issue. It's a war.
Yeah.
So there are those things we take for granted. We are the other religions that are not Christians. They have their own way of doing things. They have the things they believe in. If they can't be compatible with yours, that is another ice of problem in the cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, so people comes to relationship with a lot of expectation, you understand?
Yes.
Like, for example, women, when they get into relationship, they start thinking out that their problems have been sorted out, you know, like financially, even emotionally. So how can we manage our expectations once we get into a relationship?
That's a nice question also, and it's true.
Yeah.
What you are saying is very true. Because most of us, and the majority in our generation we are in, and this kind of economic that we find ourselves today, and how the community and the society has praised the good lifestyle, the lifestyle that is surrounded by flashy earthly materials. It's the desire of every person to live that kind of lifestyle. The media has put it in such a way that if you are not part of it, then you're not living.
Yeah, yeah.
The point. If you are not enjoying the code of dress, the kind of machines that people drive, the kind of area that you live in, you are not living. But what they don't realize that relationship doesn't answer all that, or doesn't provide the answers to that. So never get to a relationship or to a marriage thinking that the answer to your problem will be answered inside there.
Yeah.
No. No. I want to take a glass of water.
Yeah, it's okay.
So what I'm saying is that it's the elder to take a glass of take water. What I'm saying that we should never get to a relationship with that understanding it is going to solve my problem. I tell people, if you want to get to a relationship, solve yourself first.
Oh, yes.
The relationship is where the rough edges of an individual are brought out. That is where what has not been cooked in your life is brought out to be seen. Your behavior, your character, your desires, your self-care, self-management is brought out. So we should go to a relationship when we feel we are ready. The answers to relationship is at the stages where you are single. The season you are single, you must be able to fulfill yourself. You must be able to know that you understand yourself. You have all that it takes. You are in place. You are complete. You must be complete. And when I talk about complete, I'm talking you're complete in terms of your thoughts, your purpose, your career, your expectations, they are taken care. Because when you come there, you come to build each other.
Oh, yeah. To make each other better.
You come to make each other better. You come to add to each other the goodness of life. You're not coming to pick from one side. When we get to a relationship, I'm coming to enhance you in all the areas of your life. And also, I'm coming to become better from what you are offering on the other side. So we come together to build each other and to bring fullness, completion to each other.
Yeah.
But when you come to relationship with one angle that I'm the one who is going to be fulfilled there, then I will ask the question, what were you bringing in? And that's where you find some of us become a burden to the relationship.
Yeah, taking too much and giving too little.
Literal.
Yeah.
So at the end, that which looked so good, that which you expected to find peace and joy, that which you thought that is going to bring to complement and to bring fullness to me, it's not doing that.
Yeah.
So problem, differences begin. So it's very important before you get to a relationship, be complete. Be complete.
Yeah.
Because when you get to it there, you are fulfilling it, you are making each other better. So that's the angle I would wish most of us to take.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so right now we're going to take a very short commercial break, and I've learned a lot in that first segment. But if you have any question right there, please send them on our social media handles at DGTV Kenya Facebook, and of course, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, because once this video is out of your TV, then you can find it even on YouTube, so that you can share even with your friends who you want them, to be helped in one way or the other. So let's go for a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.